Good morning, everyone. Here's your Eastern Idaho weather and hazard briefing for Monday, November 23rd. We do have a storm coming through today with some light snow possible. I think the main impact will be across portions of the southern and eastern highlands, and the impact's really not all that great, just a little bit of snow potentially for some slick spots. We still have our next storm system coming in for Wednesday into Thanksgiving for a better chance of snow and some blowing snow on the higher elevations, but it looks to be dry at this point beyond that. Starting out cooler, but slowly warming up through the holiday weekend. You can see on satellite this morning, our low is now moving inland this morning, all across the west coast here. That's going to be shifting eastward today and for tonight. The weather impacts matrix, like we said, there'll be some light snow and some minimal impacts across the highlands. We might see just a slight bit of accumulation, still less than an inch, across the southern and eastern benches of the Snake Plain as we get upslope conditions later on this afternoon into tonight. What's going to be interesting is for tomorrow, across mainly the upper plain up towards Island Park and over towards Driggs, we're going to have a stratostack developing under the ridge. Be some fog and flurries. That's nothing unusual with this pattern. What we'll be watching for is a little bit of potential for freezing drizzle. We'll have to see how the temperatures with this go into tomorrow night, evening and tomorrow night, to see if that potential freezing drizzle is still there. Just something to keep in the back of your mind for now. For Wednesday and Thursday, like we said, increasing chance of snow and gusty winds. A little better chance of seeing some travel impacts across the eastern highlands, mainly over towards Island Park Driggs, heading into over into Wyoming, say over Teton Pass. Also into the Sawtooth as well. Maybe those areas seeing 1 to 3 inches, maybe a little bit more of accumulation. Banner Summit is one of those locations as well. Something just to keep in the back of your mind and watch how things evolve as we go through that period. Now, for today, we're going to watch our storm moving in. Initially, just maybe some flurries, maybe some not even really precipitation fully reaching the ground. As we go into later on this morning and this afternoon, we will see the band of precipitation shifting east, pushing into the southern and eastern highlands, where we're going to be watching. You'll notice a little bit of redevelopment across portions of the Snake Plain from Pocatello on north, especially towards Idaho Falls and Rexburg. A little bit of convergence band potential developing there, but you'll see as we go into the overnight hours, not much precipitation is left ongoing across our area. Now, also, the pattern we've been talking about for that Wednesday storm, you'll notice as we go through time that storm digs and starts to split as it moves over Idaho and down into the Four Corners area. After that, that ridge builds across our area. So once again, that's when we're going to see a little better chance of precipitation across our area. Now for today, temperatures running into the 30s to near 40 degrees, so just a little bit cooler across the board. Stanley kind of stuck in the cold air this afternoon, only 24 degrees for the afternoon high. Now there's our light precipitation setting up across the Central Mountains, also down into the South Hills. And that moving through for later on this afternoon, you again see a light accumulations. That doesn't mean we won't see a slick spot or two, and then that shifting mainly into the southern and eastern highlands overnight. Temperatures for tomorrow, just a little bit warmer across the board. Some places trying to push 40 degrees. Otherwise, we're looking at 20s and 30s in the mountains. Now, we talked about that potential for some light snow, maybe some freezing drizzle. You can see that pattern setting up here, looking at some of the very light snow we're expecting, mainly up towards north of Rexburg, towards Ashton Hill, Island Park, over towards Driggs and the Teton Valley. And that trend will continue into Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. As we go into Wednesday, temperatures starting to cool off just a bit. Even with temperatures above freezing, most of the precipitation is going to fall, if not all of it, fall as snow, because the air is going to start out a little drier, and then we'll kind of get cooler as the precipitation kicks in on Wednesday, and definitely starting a little bit cooler on Thursday for Thanksgiving as well. Here's our snowfall totals. You'll notice the Sawtooth's getting a little better chance of snow Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon, and then you see that shifting across the region, and then starting to see a little higher accumulation around Island Park, the Tetons and the mountains bordering Yellowstone National Park. Especially into Wednesday night, you can see that potential developing. So if you're traveling over around into Teton Pass, over to western Wyoming, might be just a little slick and some blowing snow there as well And then as we go into Thursday, you can see with that northwest flow continuing, most of the precipitation hanging east of I-15 and also into the Sawtooth, but not much expected. Maybe just a tad bit more of accumulation over into the Tetons at that time. Temperatures on Friday, you'll see many of us setting at or below freezing. Some places still around 35 to 40 degrees, and then we start to warm up as we head in the weekend with that ridge. We'll have to see if we get inversion conditions setting up by that particular time. So just, it looks like for now, that little bit of precipitation coming through today, mainly in the form of snow, minimal impacts with that. A little better chance of seeing them impacts, especially in the Sawtooth, over into Island Park, heading over Teton Pass as well, Wednesday into Thursday for Thanksgiving, and then the drive for the rest of the holiday weekend. Everyone have a great day, and please stay safe out there, everyone.